Okay, my friends, here it is. The Sunday morning live stream at the Thrive Like a Viking headquarters, Zone 5/6, Northern Indiana. And yes, we are on day 4 of the Master Cleanse today. So we are going to talk about the Master Cleanse. We're going to answer you guys' questions about it. I'm going to talk a little bit about the experience. And then we are going to, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the modified version that I'm actually doing. So let us get into it. Let us see who is here. We got Pam from South Africa. Hello, my friend. Good to see you here. Says, hello, Nate and everyone. Looking forward to this love event. Yes, definitely. The Shikota Carver. Hello, Nate and Tribe. In the garden having a plant sale. Sold out of tomato plants and yellow squash. Nice. What type of tomato plants are the most popular there? Man, guys, it's crazy. Wait till you see the next video on the gardening channel. It's we have the cold spell, really cold spell came in and stuff, and so I've got the hoop house. I got a heater out there. It's awesome though. It's actually working really well. It stayed 55 all night long, no problem, and that was awesome. So that will be in the video this coming week. Healing Homestead, hello, my friend. Smalls, yes, hello. Jody K, Brian Eri. Teets, yes, hello. Val from Arizona says good morning. Happy Sunday from the cloudy high desert of Arizona. Aaron Johnson here. Taylor Reindl. Brandon Edwards, yes, hello. Freebird, good to see you here. So guys, we're going to have a bit of a meditation, and then we're going to discuss the Master Cleanse, okay? So let me see here. Okay. Now, it's been a couple of weeks, so let us remember how it's done. Yeah? No matter where you are or whatever you are doing, just stop it for the next 8 to 10 minutes. And no matter where you are in the world, if you're in South Africa, if you're in San Francisco, if you're in Virginia, wherever you're at, together let us take 3 deep conscious breaths, breathing fully in. Hold. And let it go. Again, breathing, fill the lungs. Hold. And let it go. Last one, breathe deeply as you can. Hold. Hold. And let it go. Now allow the body to breathe naturally and normally, however it wants to breathe. Keep the spine straight and the body relaxed. Gently close the eyes. Deeply relax the body. Empty the mind. To empty the mind, you don't have to do anything in particular, you just stop doing. You stop participating in the stream of thoughts, in the stream of mental commentary, mental chatter. How do you stop participating? You just observe. You observe everything that is happening as though you are watching a movie. It is happening on the screen of your consciousness. As you breathe in and out, rest your attention gently on the sensation of air as it flows past your nostrils and into the body and back out of the body. Just rest your awareness there. Remain relaxed. many of you will find that even in that 30 to 40 seconds of silence, you were unable to make the mind sit still. The mind wants to race around, thinking about different things, planning for the rest of the day, remembering about the past. It wants to do anything but sit in the moment, in silence. Because in stillness, the ego mind does not exist, and it knows that. So it fears absolute silence, because it is annihilation of the ego mind. When you are perfectly present, it becomes clear. There is no you. There is no ego mind. There is no conceptual self. It is an illusion from the non-stop mental chatter, the inner dialogue. Most people have become entirely possessed by this commentator in the head. They're not even aware. It's an imposter. It is the source of their woes. It is the source of stress. Just observe what is happening. If the mind wants to race around to other thoughts, as soon as you realize this has happened, you just bring it back to the subtle sensation of air as it flows into the body and out of the body. When you begin meditations, observing the mind, you begin to see that the ego mind, the conceptual self, these are all synonyms, the little me that I think I am. It is only here in so long as it is active. It is a function of what it does. But it doesn't actually exist when it's not functioning. It is like the wind. We say that the wind blows. But when the wind is not blowing, where is it? It doesn't exist. It is the same with the ego mind. We say, I feel this way, I am doing that. The ego mind, commentator in the head. But when it is not commentating, when it is not moving from one stimuli to the next, it is not there. It's substanceless. Realizing this deeply will bring the most profound sense of peace you could ever imagine. For many of you that have been practicing, by now your mind has become still and quiet and serene, like a still mountain lake early in the morning. perfectly calm, deep, clear, strong. If thoughts or images are coming into the mind, just let them float right out of the mind, like a cloud passing in the sky. Don't become involved. Don't become attached to them. Don't give them more energy. Just let it go. You become good at whatever you practice. If you practice holding on to your thoughts and emotions and stewing over them and compounding their energy until they become real and lodged within your body and mind, then that's what you'll be good at. If you practice observing them for what they are, a fleeting, momentary, passing phenomena, and you practice watching them as they arise, as they appear to exist for a moment, and then watching them as they pass. This is what you will become very good at. And you will become the observer, that which you always have been. Together, let us take 3 deep conscious breaths, breathing fully in. Hold. And let it go. Again, breathe deeply as you can. Hold. And let it go. Again, fill the lungs. Last one. Hold. Hold. And let it go. Always remember this, guys. You become good at whatever you practice. How many people do you know that have practiced for so many years, seeing the problems in life, first and foremost, seeing the issues, the hardships, seeing the dilemmas, seeing the negativity, and they have practiced that unconsciously, of course, or sometimes consciously. They've practiced it so much that it's inseparable from their experience. And after a while, after long enough, the person becomes absolutely convinced that it's not their perception, it's not their opinion, it's not what they've practiced, it's actually reality. It is the way it is. Life is difficult and negative. All these problems do exist. And to try and tell them otherwise is met with cognitive dissonance. They can't accept. The program can't convert. That is why it is so important, no matter how old you are, no matter where you are in life, right now, this moment, is when you begin to take control. You observe what is happening in the mind. You observe the habit patterns of the mind. You watch your thoughts. And you keep doing it, little by little. 5 minutes is enough every day. 3 minutes, if you do it consistently, is enough. Because remember, time doesn't actually exist like we think it does. So long as the intensity is absolute, the time doesn't really matter. You will begin to see life in an entirely different wavelength. You will see life as a helpful, joyful, serene experience, a beautiful experience. Life becomes friendly to you because that's what it is. Life becomes nourishing and peaceful. It transitions from being chaotic and full of problems and full of me and full of striving really hard to get stuff and never seeming to get it. All these things are what the ancients called suffering. We have different words for them now, but they're still human conditions. It's still the human condition. No different than many thousands of years ago. As you practice more and more, you will see in little areas in your life, wow, the depth of understanding that you now have, the depth of compassion that naturally arises when you begin to experience your true nature, not the nature of the little me, or what Eckhart Tolle calls the life situation. Eckhart says, you don't have a life, you are life. This is absolutely true. Teets, I like that. Says, my mind is far from calm, serene, and clear, but I'm 750% better than I was before you told us, if you only do one thing, do the meditations. Absolutely. I'm very glad that stuck, that's what stood out to you, because it's absolutely true. Because the mind is the root of all things. And if the mind is fractured and chaotic and full of tensions and indecisive, guys, indecisiveness is a curse. If the mind is like that, then everything else in your life that comes after that will be influenced by that. And everything comes after the mind. The mind is first, because it constructs the framework by which you interpret reality. So with the framework a certain way, the content that enters that framework is interchangeable. It doesn't really matter. That's why when people get lodged into a certain framework of mind, it doesn't actually matter what happens in their life situation. They think that it will, because they think that what is happening out there in their life situation is what determines their inner experience, but it's the other way around. That's the paradox of the human condition. It is the internal experience that then determines the external environment. Once we begin to see this shift, then we say, okay, there's nothing more important than training the mind, the meditation, observing the mind. And from that, everything else falls into place naturally. And the calm, serene, clear, it will come for you in its own way. One thing that I noticed over many years of working with this kind of thing and in these circles is that a lot of people think that a deeply spiritual person or a deeply awake person is going to be a really passive person, that they're just going to kind of, oh, someone is stealing my car. I will not do anything because I am, so enlightened. And this world of form doesn't mean anything. This dog is biting my hand off. World of form doesn't mean anything. This is not entirely accurate. It can, but a person who is awakened is actually more on fire than the asleep person. The person who is truly awake is feeling life. Life is flowing through them into this realm. They're overwhelmed with like a raging inferno inside, of a good raging inferno of energy, of just light, of they are, thank you, Freebird, $30. Thank you very much, my friend. I appreciate that contribution. Thank you for being here. So the awake person is not the monk sitting on the sitting in the mountain. And I spent a lot of time with monks, okay, over the years, especially when I first came back from the mountains, and I was essentially living with the monks, and I was teaching meditation all the time and stuff. And I've traveled to these countries. I've stayed at monasteries, stayed in ashrams and things, and over all of it. And I only come to realize this the past handful of years after the final sort of energetic release, that many of the monks are no more awakened than anyone else. They're still in the dream of personhood. And so it doesn't matter if you arrange your actions to be calm. I'm never harming any beings. I'm only vegetarian. I recite these scriptures every day. Okay, that's all good. That's all fine. But that actually doesn't have any relevance whatsoever to true awakening. Awakening from what? From the dream of personhood. From the concept that I am less than all that is. And so awakening does not have to look like that. So we don't have to get it stuck in thinking that, well, an awake person would never cuss for sure. They would always, they would never run, really fast, or they would never defend themselves or something like that. We don't absolutely, the person, the consciousness that has realized its source is on fire, and it can do anything. It can take any form. But the difference is that it's not trying to do anything. It's given up complete control. It doesn't matter anymore because it knows nothing matters. There's nothing to gain or lose in this realm whatsoever. You're already perfectly whole and complete. You're not moving anywhere from a state of incompletion to an eventual state of completion. You're already whole. You're already at the destination. And the awake person realizes this and says, wow, wow. So all of this is like a playland. It's like a wonderful, beautiful dream that you can make whatever you want. Wow. So, guys, I definitely, thank you, Teets, $2. Appreciate you, my friend. Yes, just because. Thank you. So, guys, the master cleanse, okay? We're on day 4. We are on day 4 of the master cleanse. And this time is completely different. It's one, because I'm coming to it at this point in life when I don't have a life I need to detox from anymore. I used to use the cleanse, like I said yesterday, it was like an unconscious slogan, detox to retox. Yeah, because I was abusing my body so bad that I would just like stumble into the cleanse. I was stumble in, and I would know that the cleanse would be healing, and so I would do the cleanse. Oh, and I would have all these withdrawal symptoms, all this toxic stuff from this preservatives and the chemicals in the food and the chemicals I was ingesting and all the kinds of stuff. Uh, and I at day 5, 6, 7, 8, I'd start to feel like real incredibly clear, crystal clear. And it was just like the heavens parted and open. Wow. Like, wow, how powerful that is. But this time, okay, I've come to a point where I live in that clarity now all the time. There's no more like, oh, you're crystal clear. I'm always crystal clear. And there's no more like, wow, I just feel so good. I always feel that good. But that's not to say that there's not benefit. There's tremendous benefit. I can feel it within me this time, cleaning the intestinal system, the whole digestive tract. It's been 4 days now with nothing to eat, just a bit of this lemonade mixture, which I made just before the broadcast. Typically, I chug it right away, but I do doubles, and so I do the whole thing. And So it's been 4 days already, and we've got 6 more. We've got 10 days in total. And already the body is like, oh, yes, thank you. It is a break from the digestion. And our body has developed this mechanism over millennia, countless millennia, that when we can't find food, which happened to our ancestors all the time, of course, when we can't find food and we go prolonged periods without anything being digested, then the body says, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to turn inwards for energy. And before we consume the muscle or the brain tissue, before we consume healthy living tissues, let's go in there and consume the dead, dying, sick, ailing, underperforming tissues. That's what it does, autophagy. And it goes within and it says, okay, here's what we're going to do. And I can just feel it. It's incredible. But this time it's so much lighter than it's ever been because I don't have a toxic diet or a toxic lifestyle or toxic thought patterns. And so, therefore, it's mild and gentle and like a dear friend. It's friendly. This cleanse is very friendly. And so I don't have a bunch of mineral imbalances that I need to correct and stuff. So I don't have a bunch of weight I need to lose at all. I've lost 5 pounds so far, but most of that is just in emptying out the colon for sure. And some toxins, definitely. But I can feel it all the way from my esophagus outwards, the whole digestive tract, just you can just feel it like dislodging things. And even though it's been 4 days without solid food, still plenty of eliminations. And with this new method, the new way that I've developed to do the master cleanse, which will be in the courses. Don't worry, I'm going to make a course. I think that's going to be my first course, is because I need to get my feet wet with the course making thing, as far as the software, like I did with the website. I use the fertilizers as a reason to build the website and to get the payment methods and to sign up for this and to learn this software and stuff. So I'm going to do the same with the Master Cleanse course. I'm going to use that as my learning experience on how to make the courses, so that when the gardening courses come and the stir fry course, the juicing the garden course, the sprouts and microgreen course, the fermenting course, all that little stuff, I'll already have all that down. So the first one is going to be a Master Cleanse course. It's going to give you all the knowledge that I have now over these many years, 20 years basically of doing it. I've done definitely over 20 cleanses in that time. And so I've developed a new sort of method. Same, almost exactly the same, except it's even more distilled. It's like when Jae-dam, the son of Young Sung Chao, who developed Korean natural farming, he took what his dad made and was like, hey, we can distill it even more. A lot of this stuff's unnecessary in the KNF. It's just kind of unnecessary. And so we can distill it more. That's kind of what I feel that I've done here. And it's actually far superior. I used to feel like energy crashes and stuff and hunger. I don't feel any of that now. I feel fantastic through and through. I mean, because there's so many more minerals in this. It's just so much better. So, oh yeah, Miller says 4 days no food. That's a living hell for this guy. I'm a smoker and a timer and muncher, bruncher, linner, and snacker. Yeah. So that is common. And one of the things that you realize when you're on the cleanse is how much you habitually eat, even though you don't, you know that you can't have anything still. And I used to realize this, although now I already know. And so it's very easy. But it used to be when I was still snacking and stuff before I regimented my life so that I only had basically a large dinner and that was it. I would just walk by, even on the cleanse, and open up the fridge, look for something, and just realize, oh, wait, I'm fasting. Because it's habitual. So much of it is habitual. But during the cleansing experience, and Camille is doing it as well at this time, it's her first master cleanse. And so I'm having her log her experience in little 5-minute, like captain's log kind of thing each evening to explain her experience. I'm also doing it. All of that kind of stuff is going to be in the courses, including what to expect for each day, including exactly how to make the new mixture and why it's so much more beneficial, all that kind of stuff. So, So let's see here. 1 second. That cayenne pepper gets spicy. Let's see here. Teat says, okay, thank you, Freebird. Yes, the Master Cleanse would be a perfect first course. I'm definitely going to do it because the stakes are not high. With the Master Cleanse, a very unique subset of people. So I'm just going to make it, get my feet wet with all of it. I'm going to put a real reasonable price on it, and I would like some feedback. We might even do like a giveaway, so some of you guys that can't afford it will just get it anyways, so that I can get the feedback about it, because I got to work out the bugs. Very important. You rinse out the mouth after every time you drink the mixture. Yeah. So Teat says, I'm new to the Thrive life. To just not eat for 10 days is a mammoth, unreachable goal for me. Is there a beginner cleanse, or do I just not eat for a day? Well, so it's technically not a fast. Technically, you're still getting calories. So the mixture is it's a certain cleansing mixture. It just involves molasses, maple syrup, a real grade B, dark maple syrup, blackstrap molasses, and lemon juice, fresh squeezed lemon juice, and cayenne pepper. Yeah. And I have modified the ratios and the certain ingredients a bit, but it still is perfectly in line with the old cleanse. It's just far superior. And I've been recommending it this way because I do consultations with people about the cleanse. And 5 years ago, that was the first video on this channel. And I've worked with a lot of people since then, because at first I was just so amazed that it was catching on. I was working with people for free. I was just like, hey, I wasn't charging, you know? Now that's not the case, of course, but the things that it teaches you, is wonderful. All the common problems that people have, and in particular, the emotional things that bring a person to something like the Master Cleanse is very powerful. It's a very powerful opportunity, and it always teaches you exactly what you need to know at that time in your life. Because yes, like Teet says, to not eat for 10 days is unthinkable for most people. The first time I did it, I was just blown away. I was like 4 days, I had to go to this event, and I was like, yeah, I'm 6 days without food. And everybody was like, what does that mean exactly? I was like, yeah, I've just had this lemonade mixture. And they were just beyond belief. And so was I. Because before that, I thought, surely if I miss a meal, I'm gonna die. Oh, my blood sugar is just, I didn't eat anything today. Oh, and I'm shaking because I didn't eat anything. That's because you have metabolic dysfunction because of your lifestyle. Unless there's a rare situations where people are born with this kind of thing, of course, type 1 diabetics and things. But for the most part, it is dramatically lifestyle induced, and so people, and you become good at whatever you practice. And so if you're the as I was, because when I was bodybuilding, every 2 hours you got to be feeding the muscle protein. Every 2 hours you got to be eating meals every 2 hours, otherwise the body goes into starvation mode and it starts holding on to everything it can. Starvation mode in 2 hours, that's laughable now. That is laughable. Never in all of human history did we have food just constantly all over the place at any given second. And so I was that kind. Oh, I gotta eat something. I'm shake my I haven't eaten all day. After doing the Master Cleanse, you realize, wait a second, that's in your mind. Your mind is in control of all of that. And so you're compounding it. You're going, oh, I haven't eaten all day. My blood sugar, I need something, blah, blah, blah. No, you don't. Your mind is in control of all that. And so there can take, now, that being said, if you live the common, sad, standard American diet, you are wholeheartedly addicted to so many compounds you don't even realize. The preservatives in food, the flavor enhancers in food, the things that provide the taste, and all of these natural flavors, these natural preservatives, all this kind of stuff. All of that is designed by scientists in laboratories, and these scientists understand exactly what they're doing. They know what chemicals and what combination of chemicals will get you to eat more of their product. it's a great business model. And so that is how you have an epidemic of obesity in this country. Number one issue is obesity, in my opinion. And so at first, there's going to be a withdrawal period. It's going to be like a whoa, 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 but it's chemical withdrawals. It's not the lack of food. The body can go days and days without food, no problem. In fact, we used to do this all the time. Yeah. That is why fasting is one of the cornerstones of all major religions. They have some form of fasting because they know of its purification capabilities. Never has that been more important than now in this society. So, no, there's not a beginner cleanse. You either do it or you don't. And I know it seems mammoth and unreachable, but if you do it right, you get the course when I come out with it, and you do it right and you prepare properly, it can be an amazing experience. Especially for someone like you, Teets, it could be an amazing experience. Truly, it's like climbing a mountain or running a marathon. It can be for many people. It's like one of the most amazing things they've ever done. To go 10 days without food is amazing. So just that feeling of accomplishment is amazing. But also, so many of the mental clarity, so many of the groundedness, so many wonderful things can come from it. VA Green said, that's a great question, says, did you deliberately wait till spring to start the master cleanse or just a random decision? So that is a wonderful question. And the way that I work in my life, and Camille also works in her life, is now, it wasn't always this way, but is that we let Infinite Spirit go. I let Infinite Spirit go before me and open the way. Yes? And so, and infinite wisdom tells me what to do and what to say, not me. So I don't try to strong arm anything anymore. And so it used to be that I would plan it out exactly this time, and it would happen exactly at this time. But now it is such that it's like, okay, the intention is out there. The master cleanse. Camille was saying she need to do the master cleanse for some time. We're like, hey, yeah, let's start. You can start it. I wasn't even going to do it. I was like, you can start it, and blah blah blah. We just kept pushing it off. It just didn't feel right. We weren't really thinking about it again. And then some things happened. Some life things happened, and the season sort of changed. And all of a sudden, bam! Now's the time. Let's start. Let's start this week. Let's start Friday. Okay. And then we went and got the supplies. We got all the supplies and we're like, you know what? Let's just start tomorrow. Okay. Let's do it. And so that's how it happens. And so the Infinite Spirit did it, and guided us to it because we didn't think about it too much. We just were open to being guided and saying, okay, well, listening to the heart. And now is the perfect time. Camille's going through a major life change. And this is her first cleanse, and now is the hunger gap in the gardening season, meaning that all of our winter storage of food is pretty much done for, except for the canned stuff. And then the spring garden has not come yet. I mean, lots of things are planted, but nothing is producing yet. So for this couple week window is perfect because we're not eating anything from the garden right now. There's nothing from the garden right now, which is not common for us. And so now it just turns out to be the perfect time. Yeah. And my body, it's not like, oh man, if I was trying to do this midsummer when everything is in full bloom, there's just no way. Why would I do that? Because I'm eating fresh veg from the garden all day, every day. Well, not all day, but every day. And so it would be really difficult and unnecessary at that time. But also to do it in the fall time when all the harvest stuff is coming in. Oh my goodness, winter squash and potatoes, the sweet potatoes and the cabbages, all the stuff in the fall time. I wouldn't be doing it then either. And in the middle of winter when it's all cold and everything, you don't want to be drinking a cold lemonade and all that stuff. So now it's just the perfect time. But no, it wasn't deliberate, but it was, it just wasn't, I didn't choose anything. It just happened. Yeah. And that's the best way for me. Yeah. Susie Love says, I love the Master Cleanse. Been doing it annually for 12 years and learned a lot more from all of your videos a year ago. Thank you, my friend. I'm very glad that you've doing it yearly for 12 years. Yeah, once people start doing it, they're like, man, this is a wonderful tune-up to do each year. It's really a wonderful tune-up. So, Aaron Johnson, that's a good, I should have thought of that. That is a good recommendation. Try intermittent fasting first, Teets. If you really want to get into it, intermittent fasting uh, is really a good way to go. So give yourself a window. My preferred way is like you could start with an 8-hour window from noon to 8 o'clock at night. You can eat, but outside that window, nothing with calories. Yeah. And then you can shorten it a little bit until it's just like you've got a 4 hour window in the evening to where you eat. You eat like a large dinner and a few other things and stuff, and that's it. And then you fast all the way until the next 4 hour window. That works wonders. It really does. And it's a it definitely helps to keep you cleaner and lighter. And you'll have so much more energy during the day when you're not bogged down by digestion. The body does not need to eat 3 times a day. It does not need to eat that often whatsoever. Every time you put something in there, a tremendous amount of energy has to be used to start digesting it. And so there is a reason that we have the system that they call the rest and digest, or the breed and feed system. Yeah, there's the autonomic nervous or the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. And so when we rest and digest is when we are like, after we eat something, you get tired, and naturally you can get tired because it's like, okay, chill out while we expend this energy to digest. But so many people want to eat a big breakfast, and then go out and work. And they're like, I'm just tired. I better have energy drinks. I better be drinking coffee and all this stuff, or something even stronger, and all the while realizing, why are you doing that to your body? You can just be light. And it takes some getting used to. It takes some adjustment. It definitely does. The first month or so, you're going to be hungry at first. But after that, you'll turn a corner and it will be amazing in your intermittent fasting. And you'll be like, wow, this is just, I can't believe it. I don't eat all day long. And I feel fantastic. I feel light and clear and ready to go. I don't feel bogged down by having to digest something. And I'm not, if you're out working and stuff, you don't have to like get some garbage food out somewhere. You can prepare your own stuff when you get home. And after a month or two, after a couple of months, definitely, and for sure after like 4 to 6 months, you have total control over your hunger. Total control. So many people, and I was this way when I was living the old lifestyle I was talking about, was you have no control over your hunger. I mean, when you get hungry, you got to eat something. Oh, I'm shaking and I'm just so, withdrawal symptoms. That's what they are. You're chemically addicted to things. And so once you begin the intermittent fasting, you begin to exercise control over all that, and it subsides. And then if you have to go 12 hours without food, no problem at all day long, no problem. Everybody else is like, oh, we got to eat constantly. No, you don't. You're perfectly fine. And your body learns to thrive like that. And so even if you go the full day without eating, it doesn't really matter. You can just work with that energy. But then when you do eat, you feast on high quality stuff. That's for sure. I mean, make no mistake. I definitely am getting more than 3,000 calories a day, only eating only having a small eating window. Yeah. My eating window now is about from 1 to 7 or 1 to 8 at night, something like that, because I have my shake. I have the shake midday sometime, and then nothing else until dinner. But I don't snack, handful of nuts and stuff. I don't do any of that kind of stuff. So, hey, very good. Yes. Taylor Rindo, put me on the pre-order list for the Master Cleanse class. Ready for another one. Great. Yes, because I will want some feedback right away. We got to work the bugs out of the system so that we can get all of it happening for the gardening stuff. Yes, that's going to be big time, guys. So, Kenny Green, I haven't seen you here in a while, my friend. Good to see you. Says, will you be making a shorter cleanse? No. I mean, not a shorter master cleanse, but that's actually a really good idea. There are several other like 1 to 3 day cleanses that I've done and will promote, actually. That's a good idea. But they're not a master cleanse. But maybe we'll call it something else. That's a great idea. Maybe we'll call it like something, the Viking, purge, something. We'll come up with something so that, yeah, like a 3-day, I definitely have several of those I've done. Juice, mostly like juice fast, where you get fresh juices all day long and then a particular meal at night with these certain ingredients, with these certain herbs. Yes, yes. See, exactly. We will do a mini course after we learn how to do the Master Cleanse course. That'll be like a next, down the road. That'll be like a thing that we put in that same ecosystem. Yeah. It's all going to be under the title myvikingcourses.com. Yep. So we can do courses about everything. So, Signal Law says, what about the salt flush? I haven't mastered that part. The new method doesn't have a salt flush. I know. It doesn't have smooth move tea or a saltwater flush. It's totally not necessary with the new method. It's not necessary at all. In fact, you get much better results not utilizing that in the new method. But you still get everything that you need. All the electrolytes that you need. It's just amazing. You don't have any of the cramping. You don't have any of the hurting, any of the electrolyte fluid imbalances, or any of the intense osmotic pressure that's created by the saltwater flush. Up until discovering the new distilled method of doing it, I always did the saltwater flush every single day and the smooth move tea at night, every day of the cleanse. And it was just so much. But now that I've transitioned to the new method, this is so much more mild and gentle, but still very deeply cleansing. It's not as like aggressively as the saltwater flush. And so, like I said, I've been working with a lot of people, and Jenny, for example, she loved the cleanse. When I showed it to her for the first time, like 6 years ago, she did the Master Cleanse, and her very first time went 25 days. She just loved it so much. She was like, I can't even believe, where's this been my whole life? And that was the old method of just, the original recipe. And she loved it. She absolutely loved it, but she loved it a bit much. And so like throughout the course of like the next 2 years, she did it like every couple months, and she obviously needed to do it a lot because of where she was in her life. She felt that, but it was too much. She got to the point where she was like nodding off at stop signs and stuff like that. And it was not good. Okay. Because she was out of balance. But, so she took a break from that. And then she introduced that's right. When she was on one of her cleanses, I introduced to her the new method halfway through the cleanse. And she was like, okay, yeah, sure. And I introduced to her the new method, and she was like, oh my goodness, I can't even believe it's like not even the same thing. Your mental clarity, your energy, there's no hunger. It's fantastic. So, and then from there out, I recommended it to lots of people that I do one-on-one consultations with. Yes. So, yes, Aaron Johnson, that's what we like to hear. Says, I was pre-diabetic, but then I started intermittent fasting and I have reversed it. Whole foods for dinner once a day. Absolutely. Absolutely. Whole foods for dinner once a day. Yes. That's the key. Whole foods is the key. Truly. That's the key. Oh, that's right. Yes. Brandon says Farmer Jerry's testimony was very motivating. Yes, he had wonderful results with that. Did it several times and loved it. Yeah. Teeth says, understood. I'm looking for a yearly membership on the courses for both channels. Hey, that's not a bad idea. But except that the way we're going to structure these is that it will be course by course. So once you're in the ecosystem of my Viking courses, is what it's called, the like a Viking courses, then you will get discounts and stuff, but each one will be like its own separate little thing. So you'll get like the main one of the gardening and stuff that's coming out, or the Master Cleanse or whatever. But then as I produce more, then those will be like in addition. So it's like, okay, $30 for this course, but they'll be smaller. Some of them will be smaller, like a stir fry course to show you. But it's just so nice how everything is arranged in courses, how with the platform I'm utilizing, how it can be structured. Okay, 4-minute video. Here is what you need to get all this stuff. And then once this is complete, and I'll explain why, once you get all this stuff, meet me at the next video. Boom. It's all so well organized for learning. YouTube is actually, it's a wonderful place to learn. It is, but once you experience how courses are structured, learning from them is infinitely better. Especially if you're a content creator and you understand how the game have to be played, you never can just give the people all the knowledge, because then they'll just stop watching. And you have to optimize it for the algorithm, and you have to you have to play the game. Hey, stay till the end, please watch to the end, please. And gotta string you along. But if you wait to the end, then I'll give you this other little tiny tidbit of information, but it's still not the complete picture. I'm just tired. I don't like all that, So that's why the course is like, hey, here's all of it. I'm going to explain to you everything I know in a very clearly defined way, but you'll pay for it, And so that's an exchange. So I don't have to get your attention and keep your attention hooked, stuff like that. But anyways, because I take courses for anything. If there's someone that I know that has knowledge that I want, I take their course. If they've got a course, I'll take it. I love it. So Pam, what comment was that? It says, my comment was deleted. Do let me try again. Well, I never delete comments here. So must have said something that the algorithm thought you were spam. Yeah, Silver Sage, nice to see you here. I'm glad to hear the baby's doing good. Yes. No pay. I know, Val. No PayPal link. Yeah, I don't put anything in these videos anymore. I don't even monetize these videos anymore because it's just a waste of time. And so I just so if you guys see ads on these videos now, it's just YouTube doing it, of course, which they will do, of course, but they will keep all the money. I need to monetize these videos still, just to keep them from keeping it all, But StreamYard doesn't let you do it, so I have to go in through the YouTube app. Blah blah blah. But yeah. Nice. Aaron Johnson says, actually, I started this journey because I was led to this channel. I'm off all meds but one and almost off that one. So thankful for the tribe. That's what we like to hear. That's what we like to hear. Yes. Val, yes, says, haha, Nate, that's what I do eat. Tired energy drinks. Yeah. It's like, oh man, so I'm tired, so I need an energy drink. So I just need a boost and stuff. You don't really need that. Yeah. Absolutely. Kenny Green, marketing makes us believe the lie we continually need to eat. Of course. Yes. Let's keep the consumers constantly consuming everything. Products, advertisements, information, food, all of it. Just keep consuming. In fact, let's just call them consumers. Let's not even call them people anymore. Let's just term them. Let's just put that subconscious label on them. So, and they will subconsciously self-label themselves consumers. So that's what I am. So consume. Everybody consume. Doesn't matter what it is, just more. So, but not here, guys, because we seen through that game and we're not playing that game anymore. Sorry. We're not playing that game anymore. So, yes, man, you guys are having great talks in here. I like that. Let's see. Val says, I wanted to send you a couple of bucks. Can't find the PayPal link. Thank you very much for that. What you can do is just garden like a Viking. Well, there's also now my old one, because I had to switch it to the business account, which is Nate Master Cleanse. That's what I started with, Nate Master Cleanse. So you could send it to that one. That would be great. Thank you very much. NateMasterCleanse@gmail. That's what I started with 5 years ago or 6 years ago now, maybe, when I started doing all that stuff. Yeah, Leland, it's only the first couple of days that you would need the adjustment period, but you can definitely have mental clarity. I mean, I'm right now. I feel pretty clear. Uh, Maybe not as crystal clear as always, but pretty close. I mean, really, almost indistinguishable from anything else. And it's been 4 days without food. Um, Ooh, nice. Silver Sage says, Nate, do you consider yourself a minimalist? I'm moving soon and I am interested in living a more minimalist or essentialist life. I would love to have a course for decluttering. Hey, I commend that effort definitely, but I will not be making a course for decluttering because no, I don't consider myself a minimalist by any means. I consider myself a realist, or I consider my actually I don't consider myself at all. Is the truth of it? It just everything is what it is. So I don't really think of myself as anything anymore. But if I if you looked at my situation, what you will see is supplies all over the place for projects that have yet to be completed, that are in different stages of completion. So it may appear like clutter for sure, although it's not terrible by any means. It is. I just have so many projects going on, so many things I'm learning about, so many things I'm experimenting with. And for that, you need the artifacts, you need the stuff in order to do it. So, especially with not having um, the land or anything yet, and outbuildings and all that, I have to make do with what I got. And so that means packing in as much supplies as reasonable to get done the things I need to do. So, uh, no. But some people, it's like they've got their mindset to if they see too many things, it makes their mind, I need to declutter. But they don't see the what is happening underneath that. So if you live like a minimalist life, I don't know how you would have a whole bunch of projects going on. How would you be learning and building stuff and doing all kinds of new stuff uh, and trying different things if you don't have anything? So. Whoa, Brian says, change my life. Have lost 70 pounds in the last 3 months. I'm so glad that I found Nate. He has helped me get to this point in my life. Very good, my friend. Very good. 70 pounds in 3 months. That's pretty fast. That's pretty fast. What did you do for that to happen? I mean, regardless, that's a wonderful life change. So very well done. That's amazing. That is amazing. And because you're so active on this channel and the other one, then you're obviously developing the framework of mind that will allow you to keep that off, of course, because the old habit patterns, the old thought patterns that brought you to that inflated size are just going by the wayside. They're just dissolving now. And so the more of those old patterns and those old stored emotions and things that you just release come to the surface, observe them, release them. The more that happens, the more that the things that drove you to be overweight like that, they just dissolve. And so the source is no longer there. And so you now will be led because you're being led by Infinite Spirit. And I guarantee you, Infinite Spirit no longer wants you to be obese or overweight or whatever you consider yourself. So you will be led instead to exactly the proper things that you need to thrive. You can guarantee that because that's what your intention is now. And that's what your life is about now. And so a lot of people are like, oh, I hope I can keep it off. You don't got to hope. You don't have to hope. You can know that you'll keep it off because you re-brainwash yourself into the positive way. Yes? You don't have to hope that you'll keep it off. But when people say things like that, well, I hope I can keep it off. Underlying all of that is their mental assumption that they're not going to. You can just tell by the way that they're saying it. You don't have to hope. You will. Teets, that's very good. I would love to do that actually. I just haven't got around to it. I mean, what do you guys feel like? well, but then I would feel obligated to do the lives every week, of course, because that's all I do on this channel. But we'll see. We'll see. Oh, that's awesome. So you achieve that by intermittent fasting, 72-hour fast have cut out the bad living. Nice. Yes. Yes. Wonderful. Intermittent fasting is so powerful, guys. Yeah, definitely. Freebird says, wow, Brian, congratulations. The Signal Loss says, another thing about the cleanse for me is that it seems to have trained my body to stay in the cleanse condition, weight stayed off, etc. Definitely. And once the body feels how good it feels to be light and clear and clean, it's like, why would you go back? Why would you go back to feeling heavy and bogged down and just kind of ill all the time, joints hurting and all this kind of stuff is, you know, just the weight of life. Why would you go back to that? Once you experience how good and clear and clean you can feel, forget about it. And so then all that food, those going out drinking for, a couple of hours of mind numbing fun and stuff or whatever, so that you can then all the next day and you're just getting bloated and ill. That's no longer worth it. It's just no longer worth it. In fact, nothing is worth sacrificing your clarity of mind. Nothing is worth it. And so you will do what you need to do to protect that, and you will remain in good condition. Yeah. And you will hopefully, all of you here that are listening, have taken up some kind of practices. The meditations are first and foremost, definitely. The breath work, definitely important. The sauna therapy and ice bath therapy, majorly important. But maybe, equally as important as anything is the kettlebell training, kettlebell and or mobility training. I'm taking these new courses now with this mobility training to learn some deeper things about it. So I'm really excited. I just started this morning, and so far it's a wonderful course. So we'll see. But the kettlebells, guys, you got to get that kettlebell in your life. I'm telling you, it will up level everything. Everything. Yeah, so Silver Sage says, good insight on the minimalist lifestyle. Thanks for your opinion, Nate, because I enjoy the idea of being a minimalist. It's not realistic for me either. Yes, a lot of people enjoy the idea of being a minimalist when they're a maximalist right now. It's like, I just want the opposite extreme. I just want the opposite extreme. And so that's what a lot of people can run into. But if you find the balance and you go within, it all starts in the mind. It all starts in the mind. And if you have a cluttered, fractured mind, your environment will be cluttered and fractured, and it won't make sense. But if you work on calming the mind, of reining in, of taking the reins of the mind and say, no, here is where we stand. This is how it's going to be. You tell the mind that and command it. Then all of a sudden, everything shifts and your external world becomes aligned with that. And it says, okay, we can deal with a little bit of what some might consider clutter. We can deal with that because it allows us to do things, to do projects or paint or do what inspires us. It allows us to do that. So it's a good trade-off. But it's not coming from a place of mental clutter anymore. You know what I'm saying? There's a guy down the road that his house was condemned, and because he's such a pack rat. Every available thing is just overflowing with stuff. All the windows have stuff all the way to the ceiling. You can just see it. It's just a whole house, every inch. I don't think you can even get into it. And the garage, the door is packed open and stuff's just falling out of it. And every day he drives by and he's got a trailer on his truck full of junk. Okay, just like stuff and boxes. Literal trash, a lot of it. But in his mind, it's not trash. In his mind, and I see him out there late at night sometimes searching through his truck. He's got gray hair. He's kind of old man. He's like frantically like searching for that thing that he lost somewhere in his truck. He knows he's got this one thing. He just can't find it. I'm like, oh man, what a nightmare. What a total nightmare that would be, to be trapped in that state of consciousness. That is a reflection of his inner state. And so his mind is like that. and therefore his external experience is like that. So that's an extreme case, but you can train the mind. Yes, you can train the mind. So nice, Taylor Rindle, glad. So I purchased the Wim Hof Method course and mobile app. Look amazing. Yes, guys, everyone should be purchasing the Wim Hof Method course. Definitely. When I come out with my own Viking breathwork courses, it will be from 7, 8 years of doing the Wim Hof Method. Well, by that time, it'll be 8 or 9 years, but of doing the Wim Hof Method, and the ice bathing and all that stuff. And so, of course, along the way, I add my own things that I discover from that, that I find work better. And so just a twist on these things. But definitely you should start with the Wim Hof Method course. It's fantastic. Take the classic one. Yeah, there's the fundamentals, and then there's the classic. I like the classic. I've taken every course he has, even the advanced ones and everything. But the latest course, I got it and I haven't even opened it yet, just because I want to support him. I haven't even opened it. So, hey, that's very good. VA Green says, I think it's important to be aware of how you feel after you eat something. Just like the plants, your body is the ultimate tester of what you're feeding it. Definitely. Definitely, this is true. I will add one thing to that, though, and I will say that after you have broken the addiction, after you have cleansed, after some time of breaking the momentum, because if we take that and we just go, okay, well, I'm eating a standard American diet, the SAD, then I'm not, and I think that because I eat something, I feel a certain way. Oh, well, that means it's not for me. You're still fully addicted to the chemicals and to the certain things in those foods and in that lifestyle. And so you need to break that addiction first, and then we can use the things of the body to tell us. It's that important. I mean, it really is. It's that important. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you, Melanie. Yes. I think it's fair to say we're all here willingly. Definitely. Yes. We're all here together willingly, and that's what makes it so great. So guys, this has been a good one. Let's see here. Silver Sage says, yes, as we have been doing the practices, my external environment has become less fractured, cluttered, and more peaceful. Yes, thank you very much, my friend, for sharing that. That is exactly what can happen to anyone. As they do the practices, they will see that they are in the driver's seat of their life in every way. So, okay, my friends. So I think next, we might just be coming off next week. And coming off the cleanse is there's a new method for that as well. It's just all amazing. So really looking forward to it. And we will see you guys at the gardening live. We'll see you guys. I'm sure we'll be doing this again next week. So thank you all for being here. Infinite Spirit goes before me and opens the way. Infinite wisdom tells me what to do and what to say. Infinite Spirit goes before me and opens the way. Infinite wisdom tells me what to do and what to say. Infinite Spirit goes before me and opens the way. Infinite wisdom tells me what to do and what to say.